The gentle rocking of the waves, the salty tang of the ocean's spray, and the boundless expanse of the endless blue sky above all contributed to a sense of boundless freedom. But it was only an illusion because fate had woven a trap for Arian. A dark stain in the form of gathering clouds marred the brilliance of the sky, and the playful waves grew into menacing giants, crashing against the lone boat like hammers of wrath. Despite Arian's desperate struggle with the rudder, the storm had its way. Waves taller than houses tossed the poor boat like a walnut and eventually tore it apart. And when Arian finally regained consciousness, he found himself lying on the unfamiliar shore of an island lost in thought. At first, Arian didn't realize what had happened. He remembered the raging storm and nothing else. How did he end up here? Where is my boat? What will I do now? Desperate thoughts overwhelmed him. But soon, surprise gave way to bewilderment. The sky above was dominated by a huge green moon, casting an eerie glow over the landscape. The sand beneath his feet glittered as if strewn with pearls. And the trees surrounding the beach shimmered with colors unseen anywhere else. Moreover, he wasn't alone on the island. Among the trees, Arian caught a glimpse of a creature that resembled a deer, yet its slender legs ended not in hooves, but in huge colored glass wings. The animal's antlers sparkled with a faint blue light. It bent its head to graze on the grass, which also glowed eerily. The sight left Arian stunned and confused. As night fell, it became clear that the moon was the only source of light on the island, and the greenish glow enveloped everything in its silvery radiance. Darkness seemed to be the dominant force here, and Arian felt an icy grip of fear constrict his heart. The wind whispered through the trees, creating eerie sounds, and the gentle lapping of waves against the shore turned into ominous murmurs. Fear gnawed at him. The island was clearly full of mysteries, and the creature with the luminous antlers could hardly be called friendly. Arian understood that he needed to find shelter. He scanned the surroundings and spotted a huge tree that bore a striking resemblance to a giant mushroom. Under its spreading branches, there was a deep hollow that promised at least some protection from the elements. Leaving the beach, Arian stepped into the shadowy realm of the forest, guided by the faint moonlight filtering through the canopy. Upon closer inspection, the forest revealed its magic. Springs bubbled up between the trees, emitting a faint blue glow. Their water sparkled under the strange moon, beckoning with its coolness. And higher up, silver-leaved trees laden with strange fruits stretched their branches towards the sky. The fruits glistened with otherworldly hues, promising both nourishment and a taste of the extraordinary. Gathering these exotic fruits, Arian returned to his shelter for the night, seeking solace from the haunting melodies echoing through the woods. As darkness deepened, the chorus grew louder, weaving an intricate tapestry of sounds. Arian huddled deeper into his makeshift shelter, listening to the symphony of the night. In the distance, the mournful cry of some nocturnal creatures echoed, blending with the whispering trees. However, the soft glow of the strange fruits dispelled some of the darkness, allowing Arian to explore further. The island's magic unfolded before him. Glowing mushrooms peeked out from under the foliage, casting an ethereal glow on the forest floor. Tiny luminous insects fluttered among the plants, leaving shimmering trails in their wake. Even the shadows seemed to dance with an otherworldly light. In the morning, after replenishing his strength with exotic fruits, Arian decided to thoroughly explore the island. The sky was still dominated by the green moon, although its glow seemed a little less intense than before. Perhaps it was a trick of his imagination, or maybe the moon was indeed waning. However, this fact didn't bode well, hinting that Arian's stay on the island would be temporary. Meanwhile, the dense foliage rustled around him, as if hiding curious onlookers. Small, luminous creatures scurried across the forest floor, leaving sparkling trails in their wake. As he walked, Aryan noticed peculiar tracks in the shimmering sand. They didn't resemble those of any earthly animals. Delicate footprints resembling imprints left by fingers twitched among the glowing mushrooms. Some of the traces were so fresh that the glowing spores scattered nearby still hadn't had time to settle. Intrigued by these mysterious tracks, Aryan followed them. His steps were light and silent as a whisper. The path led him deeper into the emerald labyrinth. Suddenly, the trees parted, revealing a clearing bathed in soft bluish light. In the center stood a tall tree with bark like polished silver. Its branches gracefully reached up, forming a natural canopy overhead. Underneath the tree, Aryan spotted the same creature he'd seen near the shore. It was a deer-like animal with glowing glass wings and antlers adorned with sparkling lights. As he watched, the magical creature lowered its head to drink from the spring at the base of the tree. It seemed almost ethereal, a figment of Aryan's imagination. Yet he could hear the gentle tinkling of the spring and see the ripples spreading from the creature's muzzle. Astonished by the scene before him, Aryan felt an overwhelming urge to flee. He turned and ran, plunging back into the dense embrace of the forest. Behind him, the whispers of the trees grew louder, urging him to hurry. Adrenaline surged through his veins, propelling him forward. Fear lent him speed, and he raced deeper into the island's enigmatic depths. When his breath finally returned to normal, Aryan realized that his flight had led him to a clearing he'd never seen before. The trees here shimmered with golden hues, and a gentle stream gurgled nearby, reflecting the greenish moonlight. The air buzzed with the murmur of unseen insects, and the fragrance of exotic flowers hung heavy in the air. As Aryan caught his breath, he noticed a huge log half submerged in the stream. It looked sturdy and remarkably smooth, as if artificially polished. A sudden thought struck him. If he managed to build a raft, he'd have a chance to leave the island. Filled with determination, Aryan set to work. Using his knife, he cut down low-hanging branches and vines, fashioning tools to facilitate his labor. But just as he started assembling the raft, a terrifying screech split the silence of the forest. From the depths of the trees emerged a creature unlike any Aryan had ever seen. It had many long, thin arms with sharp claws at their ends. Its numerous eyes burned with an eerie red glow, and its body seemed to slither and writhe like a snake. The creature let out a deafening roar, and Aryan froze in terror. It took a menacing step forward, and Aryan instinctively scrambled backwards, knocking over a nearby rock. The clatter echoed through the clearing, momentarily distracting the monster. Seizing the opportunity, Aryan fled, crashing through the underbrush, desperately seeking refuge. Behind him, he heard the creature crashing through the trees, its heavy footsteps shaking the ground. Terrified, Aryan stumbled upon a familiar plant with blue glowing leaves. An idea sparked in his mind. He began tearing off the leaves and stems, piling them up near the stream. As the creature approached, the clearing was plunged into semi-darkness, and Aryan quickly ignited the pile of dry leaves with a flint and steel. Flames flared up, casting flickering shadows that danced in the darkness. The monster recoiled, hissing and letting out a furious roar. Blinded by the light, it staggered back, thrashing wildly, and then disappeared into the darkness beyond the clearing. With trembling hands, Aryan stoked the fire, its warmth slowly dispelling the lingering chill of fear. Exhausted and hungry, he decided to rest before continuing his work on the raft. Just as he leaned against a nearby tree, a faint voice startled him. Startled, Aryan whirled around, and there before him perched a tiny bird-like creature with shimmering feathers. One of its wings was entangled in a thicket of thorny vines, preventing it from taking flight. The glowing bird chirped plaintively, its eyes filled with fear and exhaustion. Without hesitation, Aryan rushed to help. Carefully disentangling the bird's wing from the thorns, he gently cradled it in his palm. The bird's heart hammered against Arian's skin, and its rapid breathing echoed his own racing pulse. With the bird freed, Arian expected it to immediately take flight. But instead, it remained motionless, its gaze fixed on him. Then, to Arian's astonishment, the bird let out a series of melodic chirps, and to his surprise, he understood the meaning behind them. "I want to lead you to a special place," seemed to echo in his mind. Without a moment's hesitation, Arian followed the bird into the dense undergrowth. The bird flew ahead, occasionally turning to ensure Arian was following. As they ventured deeper into the island's embrace, the sunlight gradually faded, replaced by the soft, ethereal glow of the island's flora. Bioluminescent fungi peeked out from under fallen leaves, casting a gentle, otherworldly light on the forest floor. Tiny luminous insects flitted among the plants, leaving shimmering trails in their wake. The forest hummed with an enchanting melody, and the air was thick with the scent of exotic flowers. After what seemed like an eternity, the bird suddenly swooped down, perching on a low branch. It chirped once more, and Arian realized it was indicating for him to look at the ground below. There, nestled among the roots of a giant tree, lay a cluster of unusually strong and resilient saplings. Their trunks shone with a faint light, and the wood seemed to hum with a vibrant energy. "This is exactly what I need," thought Arian, recognizing the perfect material for his raft. With renewed vigor, Arian began gathering the luminescent saplings. The bird watched intently, occasionally letting out encouraging chirps. Once he had collected enough material, Arian returned to the stream where he had previously started his work. And so, under the soft glow of the alien moon, Arian worked tirelessly. The forest hushed, as if in reverence for his endeavor. The sound of his knife cutting through the resilient wood was the only disruption to the silence. Slowly but surely, the raft began to take shape. The luminescent wood fitted together perfectly, creating a sturdy base. As dawn approached, Arian completed the last of his knots, stepping back to admire his handiwork. The greenish moon was beginning its slow descent, and Arian knew he didn't have much time left. Gently, he slid into the water, pushing the raft away from the shore. The stream carried it away from the mysterious island, its luminescent trees, and magical creatures. Arian rowed with all his might, determined to escape the clutches of this strange world. Behind him, the island receded into the distance, becoming smaller and smaller until it was nothing more than a hazy silhouette on the horizon. The sun began its ascent, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson. Arian squinted, shielding his eyes from the brilliance. And when he finally dared to glance back at the island, it was nowhere to be seen. All around stretched the boundless expanse of the sea. As the first rays of sunlight touched the water, Arian's raft sailed into the open ocean. Hope blossomed in his chest, as radiant and boundless as the sky above. And if you don't want to miss the most exciting adventures, subscribe right now.